Excellent. Wow. Well, I am DangerMan, the urban superhero. And I am so happy to be here. You guys give yourselves a hand for being in school today. Yeah. This is beautiful. Wow. Okay, here we go. Let me hear you say, I can. Because I believe I can. Because I believe I can. Yeah, that's great, guys. Sound real good. Let's do it one more time. Say, I can. Because I believe I can. Yeah, that's great. That's great. Well, I'd like to get started with that because I want you to, in your heart, and in your mind, to understand that you can do or be anything that you want to do, that you can imagine. That's right, that you can imagine as long as you prepare yourself and you really believe in your heart that you can accomplish that goal, okay? Say, I can. I can. Because I believe I can. That's right. Okay, give yourselves a hand. Wow, that's beautiful. Yeah. Okay. All right. So anyway, I'm DangerMan, and anybody says they ask me, you see that picture there? They were asking me, said, DangerMan, did you really break through that wall? Okay. You know, anybody know what that wall is that I'm breaking through? Anybody? What's that wall? It's a brick wall, but what is you know what the wall stands for? Anybody else has an idea what that wall stands for? What does that wall stand for? Tell me. Yes. What does that wall stand for that I'm breaking through? Well, that's the wall of illiteracy. Okay? You know, that's the wall of illiteracy and not doing what you're supposed to be doing. Okay? You know, that's what I like to call it. All right? Because one of the you know, what I do is, as DangerMan, you know, there's other superheroes that fight crime and take down the bad guys, and I do that. I do that in my book and in my movie that I got coming out. But the thing I enjoy most is coming to talk to kids. And I promote literacy, safety, and good health. And literacy, because the thing you need to understand is how important reading is and how important your education is. All right. So let me hear you say reading. Reading is the key. That's right. Reading is the key. Reading is the key. That's right. Because everything you're going to do in life begins with reading. Okay? And if you can't read, if you don't have the ability to read and understand, you know, and read and write and understand what you're reading and writing, then you will have a life of hopelessness and despair. You will not have a good time in life, okay? You will not have a happy life if you can't read, okay? You know, because reading takes, everything you do requires reading, all right? And you need to pick up every day. You need to be reading, whether it's reading a cereal box when you're eating your Cheerios or your oatmeal, or finding out what the ingredients are or what it's made out of, to reading the newspaper, reading articles, you know, filling your mind with words in your head and your brains with words. Okay. You know, books are brain food. That's what I call them. All right. And who can tell what's another important reason for reading? What's an important reason for reading? You know? You know? Anybody? Who knows? What's an important one? No, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Okay, one thing when you read, come on. You understand? When you read, you increase your vocabulary. Say vocabulary. Vocabulary. Yeah, that means you increase your word, your knowledge, and your use of words. Okay? That way you're not just walking around talking about them. Okay? And two. All right? Because there's a lot of words in the dictionary and in our vocabulary as we speak every day. How many of you guys use a dictionary? You know how to use a dictionary? Yeah, raise those hands. Raise those hands. That's right. Yeah. Okay, because the dictionary, what's the dictionary for? Who knows what's the dictionary for?
So you can, the meaning?
Yeah, the dictionary will have meanings of now we got the internet. You know, you can go on, the internet and you Google words, but I like the old-fashioned way. That really made, that really made kids work, and understand more than just going to the Google looking things up. You got that dictionary. When I was a kid in school, I had both my parents were teachers, and we had dictionaries before we had anything else. That's right. And I had a dictionary in my school bag when I took to school with me. I had a dictionary at home, in every room. We had a dictionary, all right? Because we had to really understand the importance of reading and understanding. My dad used to have a thing that he used to do, and I used to call it a bad habit, but I didn't say that to him. Okay, I'd be watching TV, and my dad would come in from work, and he'd stand in front of the TV and block the TV. I wanted to say, excuse me? What are you doing? I know you're a man around the house, but don't you say I'm watching my cartoons? Yeah, I'm trying to watch my cartoons. Dad, can you move out the way? Did I say that? No. I didn't say that, did I? That's right. Because then I'd have to be looking to find out where my next meal was coming from. That's right. And but I knew it was time when he would do that. It was time to get up. We had to get it. He's standing by that TV. Said, "Did you read a book today? Is your homework finished?" Yeah. Well, let's see it. We had to rock. We had to scramble. That's right. Then we only probably watched about 5 hours of TV a week. Yeah. 1 hour every night. That's all we could watch. And there was time to, then you had to go clean something, whether it was the bathroom or clean the garage or something, and do your homework, and it was time for bed. That's right. But I wanted to always make sure that we were reading. Let me hear you say again, reading is what? Reading is the key. That's right. So you need to understand it and read as much as you can, because when as you grow older, like say when you go to take your driver's license. How many of you guys want to drive? Yeah, that's right. You guys want to drive. Okay. What do you have to do to be able to drive? Huh? You have to get a license. That's right. Okay. And the license comes from where? Who said that? You said that? Who said that?
I said it. The police?
No. Somebody said where? The DMV. That's right. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, the DMV. That's the Department of Motor Vehicles. Yeah. They license you and they're in charge of all the rules for the road. Okay. And when you go down, you have to take a what? You have to take a what? A test. That's right. You have to take a test. You must be driving already, huh? You know all the answers. Yeah, you have to take a test. And in that test, they ask you questions about the rules of the state of California. About how to drive, about speed limits, about going around the curve, doing this and doing that. And if you don't, you have to read that book ahead of you. Don't read that book, you're not going to what? You're not going to pass the test, are you? No. That's right. And then you'll be catching a bus or riding your bicycle. I knew some people that went down there, took the test 5 times. Yeah. How many times? 5. I said, that's ridiculous. this? Why would you take it 5 times? Well, you know, I didn't read the book. I tried to get by without reading the book. Yeah, so everything you do is going to include reading, all right? And so there's no way getting around it, okay? So I'm telling you guys, how many guys you got books at home? You got books at home? Yeah. Wow. Okay, yeah. Good. And then when you're reading isn't a chore. Reading is fun. You know, because there's like 2 types. Sometimes you read for fun, right? You know, you got fun books that you want to read, you know, about stories and, you know, different characters, you know, so, and that's fun reading, okay? Then you have, you know, let's see, yeah, so that's fun reading. Like, for instance, you guys will have a copy of this for your library, okay? All right? So this is like fun reading. This is about me, about DangerMan. See, I got my own book, okay? And then there's reading, like, for say, if you want to be a doctor. How many of you guys want to be doctors? All right. How many of you guys want to be lawyers? Any lawyers in here? Yeah? Okay. What about scientists? Anybody want to be a scientist? That's right. Raise those hands. Yeah. That's right. There's lots of jobs out there for scientists. Scientists, they make good money, and it's an exciting career. Yeah. How many engineers? Anybody be an engineer? Yeah. Okay. So, all right. So what happens is, when you're, like I said, if you want to be a doctor, you have to read books about medicine. You know. Yeah. About, like say, if you're a doctor, how to put somebody back together if they fall apart, or somebody's leg, or their arm, or their brain. Okay. That's right. Well, it depends on what kind of medicine that you want to practice. You know, if you want to practice medicine for kids, you know, then you'll, you know, your area of study will be about that. Okay. But you know, if you want to be you want to work on automobiles, or you want to, you know, send people to the moon, then that kind of reading is a little heavier reading, because it's about technical stuff and how to do those kind of things in order to, you know, to build a career, okay? But all that reading is very important stuff that you have to do, and you have to do. You can make it fun, all right? But I'm telling you, if I don't tell you anything else today, remember what I tell you about reading. And there's a certain joy in reading. See, reading can take you to all kind of places. You know, it can take you around the world, different countries. It can show you, you can learn how to dance, you can learn how to cook. How many of you guys like to cook? Yeah. You ever read a cookbook? How many of you guys have read? Yeah. All right, good. Excellent. See, now, I got a cookbook coming out. Yeah, I got a cookbook coming out for kids. Listen. Yeah, it's a healthy cookbook. It's a healthy, I bet you can't wait to get it done. Yeah. It's a healthy cookbook. And, you know, so it'll deal with healthy recipes so that you guys can be healthy and wise. All right? Because another thing I do is child obesity. Listen now. I talk to kids about eating healthy. Eating healthy every day, and exercise. You guys, how many of you guys get a lot of exercise?